American B-movie directors. Tonight he catches up with the unashamedly shocking Pope of Trash, John Waters, whose offensive and highly amusing movies are the subject of the first reel of the incredibly strange film show.
Hello. It's just after 7 o'clock on a cold February evening, and I'm standing outside the Senator Theatre in Baltimore for the world premiere of John Waters' latest film, Hairspray. As you can see, there's all of the razzmatazz and hoopla usually reserved only for Hollywood. Everyone who is anyone in Baltimore is here tonight, including the stars of the film, the mayor, and even a bevy of local beauties from the 60s whom the film pays affectionate tribute to. It seems that John Waters, the bad boy of Baltimore, has finally made good. Well, goodish.
This is tremendous. It's a great day for Baltimore. I thank John Waters for bringing it about.
Hey, girl, what you doing over there? Can't you see?
For the last 20 years, John Waters has been shooting movies in Baltimore. Movies that weren't always as acceptable as this, his latest success, Hairspray. With his star actor, Divine, he has been responsible for some of the most shocking, offensive and hilarious movies ever to come out of America. John is now Baltimore's official golden boy, but it wasn't always that way. Over the years, people have had many different ways of describing him.
The anal anarchist, the Ayatollah of crud was a new one. I've been called all of them. You know, it's nice to have titles.
Any personal favourite?
Oh, yeah, William Burroughs called me the Pope of Trash, and to me, if I'm the Pope, then he's the god of trash.
Hairspray is quite a departure from his early movies. It follows the adventures of a local Baltimorean teenager who is desperate to get on the Corny Collins TV dance show, contrary to the wishes of her mum, played by Divine.
You should be on that council, not her.
I know I should, Penny. Hey, I'm going to that hop tonight.
Oh, let me come. We'll lie and say we're going to the library to study.
It's a deal. We'll meet 8 o'clock. Up on the avenue.
Okay, young ladies, I've had just about enough of this screeching music.
Mother, we're watching the Corny Collins show.
Penny, your mother called all frantic. She said you were punished.
I'm always punished.
And Tracy, I have told you about that hair, all ratted up like a teenage Jezebel.
Oh, Mother, you're so 50s.
Tracy's flamboyant flip is all the rage, Miss Edna. Jackie Kennedy, our first lady, even rats her hair.
But Tracy ain't no first lady. Are you, Tracy? No, sirree. She's a hair hopper. That's what she is. Now, I've got nothing but hampers of ironing to do, and my diet pill is wearing off. Tracy, I want you to go to your room and study. And Penny, don't you be listening to every bit of nonsense that my daughter tells you. If I didn't know better, I'd swear she was mental.
This time it's quite odd to see you in the role of a caring mother for a change.
That's what I mean. It was a different role for me to play. Both of them were, so it made it interesting and a lot of fun.
Do you think the fans of the earlier John Waters movies and your earlier movies might be a bit disappointed in seeing you in a PG-rated film?
Well, we didn't set out for it to be a PG. We were quite shocked that it actually is a PG, and I think that's the most shocking thing about the film, that it is a PG. But no, I think it's very entertaining and very funny, and I don't think anyone's disappointed. It makes you laugh.
I thought it was wonderful. I think it's one of the best films Glenn has made, John Waters has produced.
Tragically, Divine died 2 weeks after the premiere. If Hairspray is the only John Waters film you've ever seen, you might be surprised to see what he and Divine were up to more than 20 years ago when they first started making films together.
tell
tell us about your first filmmaking ventures and how you got into films?
Well, I knew nothing about making movies, you know, I just wanted to make them. The first one I made was 8mm. What came out of the camera was the movie. I didn't know you edited. I didn't know what edited meant. And I showed it in some beatnik coffee house. It's a terrible movie called Hag in a Black Leather Jacket.
Which we're not going to see, are we?
No, it's really hard to show because I need an 8mm projector. I mean, it wasn't even Super 8. They didn't have Super 8 then either. It's black and white. There's no print. It's the original. The splice is right in it. It was shown once, I think.
So what were you trying to do? Who inspired it?
Underground movies then, you know, and that was when Underground, this was about '64 I made it. And underground films had just come out in New York, and I used to always go to New York and see them and read about them. Film Culture magazine was my Bible then. That was the magazine for underground films. And the Village Voice had Jonas Mekas' column, which covered that scene. And I saw the early Kenneth Anger movies, the early Warhol movies, and but mostly Mike and George Kuchar were the biggest influence on me. They made movies like Hold Me While I'm Naked, Pussy on a Hot Tin Roof, Sins of the Fleshopods. And so I just wanted to make my version of that, and I just made it with my friends.
Are you divine?
Yes, I am divine.
And how long have you been divine?
All of my life, day in and day out.
It's doubtful that Waters' films would have been quite as outrageous without Divine, but it's certain that Divine wouldn't have been anywhere near as divine without John Waters.
I wanted him to be like a Jane Mansfield, like a sort of 50s sex symbol, only a large one.
So when did you recognize Divine's star potential?
I recognized Divine's star potential when he was at high school, and he looked very normal. He was quiet, he was shy, and the police had to bring him home from school every day because the kids wanted to beat him up, and for nothing. He had a girlfriend. He dressed not flamboyantly, but every once in a while he'd relax and that divinity would show through, and it made people nervous. And I was his first fan, maybe.
With money borrowed from his father, Waters soon progressed from 8mm to 16, gathering a group of like-minded and equally outrageous friends who formed the repertory company he still draws on today.
We grew up together, and we started hanging around together when we were teenagers, and, well, we were juvenile delinquents, really. I quit school so I could be a delinquent full-time.
It was mostly, I think, suburban rejects. People that really were not happy with the suburban life, and then you met people from other suburbs, which we all were from. None of us lived in the city. Nice people didn't live in the city at that point.
Oh, we thought we were fabulous. We thought we were... I thought I was the greatest superstar that ever walked the face of the earth. I think if I'd, with that attitude, set foot in New York, I would have been eaten alive by anybody who was really a superstar, any of the real Warhol people. But for Baltimore, we were pretty extreme.
Part of town is currently undergoing gentrification. The yuppies are moving in. But in the 60s, it was a much rougher area, known for cheap housing and cheap bars. It was the seedier part of Baltimore, and Waters was attracted not only by the lowlife, but also by the fact that he could shoot his films here without being disturbed.
Waters set up his own film company, the glamorous-sounding Dreamland Studios, which he ran from his bedroom. Its first full feature was Mondo Trasher. For a late 60s movie, it's remarkably un-hippie-like.
Well, I never was a very good hippie. I mean, I had long hair, but we always hated that love crap, you know? I mean, we really had that punk attitude way before there was such a thing.
I embarrassed my entire family with Mondo Trasho. In Mondo Trasho, I danced topless. I was allowed one tap dancing lesson to do this routine. So I learned one step, which I did over and over and over again. So I was naked on this table wearing a tutu and a set of rosary beads around my neck with my hair in a sort of a modified afro. And then I was pulled down off the table and sexually molested with a paper bag over my head. It was a very glamorous part.
You mind the trash of this?